Aspinall's just wasting away. A lot of Jones fans have just jumped ship.
But maybe he's looking to properly like bulk up in the right places.
Maybe.
Well,
Or he's trolling. I'm just happy it's not my division, dude.
Rob Whittaker states that Jon Jones would agree to a fight with Tom Aspinall and then pull out just to troll him. In response to the ongoing back and forth, interim UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall has had enough of the endless speculation surrounding a potential showdown with Jon Jones. The Brit clarified that he's grown bored of the discussion, stating that he's ready to go whenever the UFC gives the green light.
Yeah, I've had enough talking about it, mate. I'm honestly bored of it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll just see. I'm ready to fight whenever they tell me, so just let me know. I'll be there.
Following this, a meeting with UFC executive Hunter Campbell has given Tom Aspinall clarity on his standing within the company. The interim heavyweight champion now better understands the UFC's plans and seems content with the direction things are heading. Without revealing specifics, Aspinall teased that major news is on the horizon and urged fans to stay tuned. With heavyweight matchmaking in flux and the Jon Jones situation still uncertain, speculation is bound to run wild. One thing is certain, something big is brewing in the division.
We talked everything through. You know, Hunter has always been extremely personable and reasonable with me. I can't say what he's like with other people, I don't know, but with me and my team, he's been nothing but hospitable and fantastic. And we had a fantastic meeting. Everything went amazing. I understand my position now. I understand what the company's doing now. And you got to stay tuned, my friend, because there's some big news coming.
Building on that, Tom Aspinall believes Alex Pereira's defeat to Magomed Ankalaev may have cleared the path for his long-awaited showdown with Jon Jones. With Pereira previously rumored to be in line for a fight against either Jones or Aspinall, his loss seemingly removes a major obstacle. Now, with Pereira out of the equation, Aspinall sees the Jones fight as more likely than ever.
Yeah, there's not really many places for him to go right now. I don't think. I think the UFC made it clear anyway. I would like to keep faith that Dana and the UFC would keep the word that if Jon Jones is fighting again, it's going to be against me. But now that the Pereira fight's kind of been taken away with his loss and stuff, I think that kind of goes without saying anyway at this point.
In light of this, Michael Bisping recognizes Jones as an all-time legend, an undefeated force in the octagon with a career that speaks for itself. However, Bisping also believes that no fighter is invincible forever. Eventually, everyone meets their match.
You can't deny what he's done in the octagon, the career that he's had, and he's technically unbeaten. However, you know, everyone meets their match eventually, and I think Tom Aspinall's the new generation.
And that match, in this case, could be Tom Aspinall. He sees the interim heavyweight champ as the new generation, a fighter who will go down as one of the greatest martial artists the sport has ever seen. While the heavyweight division is stacked with powerhouses, Bisping believes none possess the technical skill and agility that Aspinall brings to the table. In his mind, the future of the division is clear.
And he'll go down probably as the greatest mixed martial artist that we've ever had. He's elite as a heavyweight. A lot of the heavyweights, they're good, they're very strong, they're powerful, but they're not as quick and as agile and as technical as Tom. Tom's the whole package. You know, he's like, there's a fighter called George St. Pierre, who's one of the greatest to ever do it. Tom's like a heavyweight George St. Pierre. He's got no weak areas. He's got absolute knockout power, super disciplined, super agile on the feet. He finishes everyone really, really quickly.
That being said, while Michael Bisping sees Tom Aspinall as the future of the heavyweight division, he's not ignoring the reality of the challenge ahead. He points out that Aspinall has never faced anyone like Jon Jones, largely because the heavyweight division isn't known for its technical depth. Jones, on the other hand, has spent his career battling elite-level competition far beyond what Aspinall has encountered.
He hasn't gone up against somebody like Jon Jones because, as I said, the competition in the heavyweight division isn't necessarily there on a technical level. Jon Jones is. And Jon Jones has fought way better competition than Tom. That's just a fact.
However, it's not a one-sided argument. Bisping also notes that Jones has never faced anyone like Aspinall, a heavyweight with his size, agility, and devastating power. The matchup presents a unique test for both men, making it one of the most intriguing potential fights in the sport.
But John's never fought anyone like Tom either. John has never fought anyone the size of Tom, and that can generate that kind of power. He had 2 heavyweight fights, one against Cyril Garner, who took him down really quick and he choked him out. And then he went up against Stipe Miocic. He was really good, and he had a good little go, but he was 42 and he hadn't fought for a while, and he's getting on. Tom's 31, in the prime of his life, and I would be very surprised, and this sounds disrespectful, but I'd be very surprised if he got out the first round.
Nevertheless, Michael Bisping isn't ruling out the possibility that Jon Jones could silence the doubters. While many believe Tom Aspinall is the future of the heavyweight division, Bisping acknowledges that Jones might step in, dominate, and remind everyone why he's one of the greatest fighters of all time. But the truth is, no one will know until they step into the cage.
And as of right now, he's probably the greatest of all time. But he's just never fought anyone like Tom. And maybe he will prove me wrong and prove everybody wrong and prove the doubters wrong. And maybe he'll put Tom in his place. But we won't know until that fight happens.
With that in mind, according to Bisping, this fight should be happening. Since Aspinall is the interim champion, Jones holds the undisputed title, and UFC President Dana White has already discussed the matchup with Aspinall. It seems like all parties are on board, with details being ironed out behind the scenes. Now, it's just a matter of waiting for the official announcement.
I mean, it should be. It should be. Tom's the interim champ. John's the undisputed. Apparently Dana told Tom at the weekend that the fight's happening. They're just figuring out the if, buts, wheres, whens, the purse and all that type of stuff. But apparently everyone's in, so we just got to wait for the announcement.
On the other hand, Demetrious Johnson believes Jon Jones's intelligence and versatility are what make him truly great. However, he also sees a key difference in Jones since moving up to heavyweight. He's simply not as fast as he was at 205 pounds. The added weight has slowed him down, and in a potential fight against Tom Aspinall, that could be a major factor.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the biggest thing that what makes Jon Jones so great is, one, how intelligent he is and how versatile he is. I do believe him going up to heavyweight, he's not as fast as he was when he was at light heavyweight, because he has all that extra weight on him. That's how I feel. He's not pop. He's not, he's not as quick.
Given these factors, with Aspinall being the younger, faster, and naturally bigger fighter, Johnson suggests that while Jones would be the perfect light heavyweight, Aspinall is built for the heavyweight division. He also isn't a fan of Jones demanding a 6-month wait before the fight happens, implying that delays aren't doing any favors.
And I think with Tom Aspinall being the younger athlete, faster, bigger, maybe, I feel that Jon Jones is the perfect light heavyweight. Where I feel like Tom Aspinall is a big heavyweight. And the 6 months, I'm not the biggest fan of him winning 6 months. If I was Tom Aspinall, I'd be like, God, dude, I'm not fucking waiting 6 months. Y'all need to give me another fight. But then again, this could be the biggest fight of his career if he's able to beat Jon Jones. So, I have mixed feelings on the 6 months. You know what I mean? I think
in light of this, Demetrious Johnson sees Jon Jones calling the shots, and he's not a fan of it. According to Johnson, everyone is playing Jones's game, letting him dictate when and how things happen. With Jones insisting on a 6-month wait before facing Tom Aspinall, Johnson questions why the interim champ should sit around and wait.
I think that Tom Aspinall should take another fight, because I think when you put an athlete who's very young like that on ice and they don't get that ring time, they don't get that opportunity to get out there and just fight and make the money.
If it were up to him, Aspinall wouldn't be on standby for half a year. Johnson suggests that the Brit should keep moving forward instead of letting Jones control the timeline. With the division in limbo, the waiting game might not be in Aspinall's best interest.
And then when Jon Jones, it's like everybody's fighting on Tom Jones. Everybody's fighting on Jon Jones. Tom Jones.
The sex bomb.
Yeah, everybody's fighting on Jon Jones's timeline. Where if I was Tom Aspinall, I wouldn't fight on Jon Jones' timeline. He's dictating what's going on right now and when that fight's gonna happen. If I was Tom Aspinall, nah, I'm not waiting 6 months. I'm not going to do that.
On the other hand, Robert Whittaker isn't convinced that Jon Jones is serious about fighting Tom Aspinall. In fact, he believes Jones is just toying with the interim champ, dragging things out only to potentially sign the fight, delay it for months, and then retire.
It's hard. At this point right now, I can kind of see Jon Jones just trolling the hell out of Tom Aspinall, dude. I can see him signing it, doing 5 months and then just retiring. I think he's trolling him at this point.
In this regard, according to Whittaker, Aspinall might just be wasting his time waiting for a fight that may never happen. He also points out that a lot of Jones's once loyal fan base has started to jump ship, possibly frustrated with the delays. However, he speculates that Jones could also be using this time to bulk up properly in all the right areas, preparing for one last statement win before walking away from the sport.
It's rough. Aspinall's just wasting away. A lot of Jones fans have just jumped ship.
But maybe he's looking to properly like bulk up in the right places.
Maybe.
Well,
Or he's trolling. I'm just happy it's not my division, dude.
Similarly, Demetrius Johnson isn't just frustrated by the delay, he's confused by the timeline itself. With Jon Jones insisting on a 6-month wait, Johnson wonders whether that countdown starts now or only after the fight is officially signed. And since no contract has even been finalized, the waiting period could stretch even longer. He relates the situation to a blockbuster movie that keeps getting delayed, one everyone is hyped for, but might never actually see. As anticipation builds, Johnson questions whether this fight is genuinely in the works or just another case of prolonged speculation with no real payoff.
You know, and the fight hasn't even been signed. So is it 6 months when they finally sign the fight, or is it 6 months from now? What is it? Like, it's being prolonged so long that if it never, it's almost like a movie that we're all excited about that might never ever come out.
On the other hand, Chael Sonnen isn't buying into the uncertainty surrounding Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. He sees it happening before the year is out. The former UFC star believes the fight will take place in November, with Madison Square Garden in New York as the likely destination. While the delays and speculation have frustrated many, Sonnen seems confident that the UFC will lock in the matchup before the end of 2025. If his prediction holds, fans could finally get the heavyweight showdown they've been waiting for.
Yes, I do. And I'm going to predict for you November, New York. And that's not based on any inside scoop, by the way. If Anik turns out to get it right, or I turn out to get it right, but I just know in November they're playing New York, and in December they're playing Vegas. That's a massive fight. Maybe you take it to the fight capital of the world, maybe. Or maybe you take it to the venue that's produced your largest live gate in history. So,
in contrast, Sonnen isn't losing sleep over Jon Jones's 6-month delay request because he doesn't even believe Jones meant it in the first place. According to Sonnen, Jones likely threw out the timeline without realizing it would become a headline that dominated MMA discussions for weeks. Sonnen isn't overly invested in when the fight happens, but he does find it amusing that Jones's offhand comment has taken on a life of its own.
I don't overly care. Listen, I will tell you one thing, though. Jon Jones wants 6 months. I don't believe that Jon meant it when he said it. I don't think Jon ever knew that this was going to be a statement that he could make that would then stick around for 3 weeks and everybody be bouncing this back and forth. I don't think he really meant it. I mean, I know when Jon sat down at the table the very first time he ever spoke about Tom Aspinall and he said, I need $30 million, he didn't mean that. They were just words that came, then they ended up sticking, and we all did something with it. And what a crazy amount of money to ask for.
Similarly, Chael Sonnen sees no point in Jon Jones delaying a fight with Tom Aspinall. He believes that no matter when they step into the cage, tonight, next week, next month, or a year from now, the outcome will remain the same. The better fighter will win, period. Sonnen admits he doesn't know who that will be, but that's exactly why they need to fight. The only thing a 6-month delay does is keep fans waiting. At the end of the day, skill will decide the result, not the calendar.
The only thing that putting 6 months between Jon and Tom would do, and I don't know who wins between those boys. There's a reason we got to walk them out there and do the actual fight. Nothing will change, though. If they fight tonight, if they fought at Madison Square Garden in November, if they fight in the street in a month, if they fight in 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, or 6 years, whoever is better will win 100% of the time. And I know as fight analysts, we love to rework it.
Expanding on that, Luke Thomas aimed at the ongoing delays surrounding Jon Jones, suggesting that his demand for more money could be just another stalling tactic. He questioned why, after already spending 3 years preparing for the heavyweight division, Jones would now suddenly need even more time to fight.
Attempt at asking for more money as just yet another delay. And in fact, the delays to me are actually kind of the problem here. Did he not take off 3 years in order to get his body right for heavyweight? Did that not happen? Did I imagine that? Did he fight between the Reyes and the Gon fight and we just didn't see it or something like that? What are we talking about here?
Further elaborating on his concerns, Luke Thomas pointed out that Jon Jones's entire reasoning for his long hiatus was to transition to heavyweight properly, taking his time rather than rushing the move. Jones himself had stated that he wouldn't make a reckless leap into the division and would instead focus on building his body the right way. However, after returning to action, he fought once, got injured, and now appears to be delaying yet another year for a potential fight against Stipe Miocic.
But a big part of that was, I'm not going to rush to heavyweight, he told us. Not gonna make some kind of blitz into heavyweight and just not do this the right way. Got to do this the right way. Got to do it the right way to get your body right. And he did, and then he fought, and then he won the title. And granted, he was supposed to fight, I think that was March of 2023. He was going to fight in November 2023, and he got injured. Okay, you had yet more time off for that, to the point where it was a yet another year delayed.
Building on this, Joe Rogan is blown away by Tom Aspinall's athleticism, calling him one of the fastest heavyweights ever, if not the fastest in the history of the sport. According to Rogan, no one at heavyweight moves like Aspinall, and his footwork and agility are nothing short of extraordinary. He emphasizes that Aspinall's movement isn't just a flashy attribute, it's a game-changing ability that opponents have to deal with. In a division where size and power usually dictate fights, Aspinall's unique blend of speed and technical finesse makes him an entirely different problem for anyone standing across from him.
Aspinall's one of the fastest heavyweights. He might be the fastest heavyweight in the history of the sport. I don't think anybody moves like that guy does. At a 250 plus pound frame, his movement's fucking extraordinary. And that's something you have to deal with. Like, that is a crazy ability. Like, his ability to move, like the way he moves, is so much different than everybody else in the sport. Incredible stand-up, knocks guys out with one punch, black belt in jiu-jitsu, really good wrestler.
In this context, Joe Rogan isn't doubting Jon Jones's greatness, but he sees a key factor in a fight with Tom Aspinall. Jones isn't a natural heavyweight. Rogan insists that Jones could still make light heavyweight without issue, meaning he isn't carrying the same size as some of the division's biggest threats.
It's hard to bet against Jon. It's hard to bet against Jon, but Jon's not a real heavyweight. Yeah. Jon could make light heavyweight, 100%. He weighs 230 right now, maybe a little less than 230. There's no doubt in my mind that if Jon just changed his diet and went back, he hasn't put that much mass on that you would say 205 is out of reach.
No, it's fluffy weight.
Yeah.
A lot of it too.
Yeah, I mean, look, he had always had the reputation of fucking all the heavyweights up at Jackson Winklejohn. Always.
Given this, Tom Aspinall isn't sure what to believe when it comes to Jon Jones's supposed 6-month wait. He questions whether Jones said it or if it's just another media-fueled headline. Having been in the fight game long enough, Aspinall admits he no longer trusts everything reported in the media.
What does that make you think?
I don't know. Like, is that just a headline though? Or has he actually said that? I don't know. I don't really believe anything that's said in the media now, because I've been around that a little bit, and I know that not everything is true. And I know sometimes we put stuff out there that's not completely true and people run with it. So we'll find out. I'll find out after the UFC, and that's all I'll listen to, really.
In light of this, Aspinall believes Jon Jones's request for a massive payday is completely justified. He acknowledges the incredible legacy Jones has built throughout his career and feels he has earned the right to command such a fee. Aspinall even goes as far as to say that if Jones gets the deal he's asking for, it would be well deserved. With his accomplishments and status in the sport, Aspinall sees it as nothing less than fair play.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think with what he's done in his career, he should get that much money, and fair play. If he gets it, that's amazing.
Continuing that same straightforward mindset, Tom Aspinall doesn't complicate things. For him, his job is simple: fight whoever the UFC puts in front of him. Referring to himself as a dumb cage fighter, Aspinall emphasizes that when the bell rings, he's ready to go. He keeps his approach straightforward. If the UFC offers him the fight, he'll take it. If they don't, he won't. There's no overthinking or unnecessary drama. It's as simple as that.
No, do you know what? My job's to fight people, innit? Like, I'm just just a dumb cage fighter, that's all. So my job is to get in there, the bell goes, I go across and fight somebody, and that's all I can do. If they offer me a fight, I'll take it, and if they don't, I won't. Simple as that, really.
In keeping with that no-nonsense approach, Aspinall admits he doesn't have an answer for why his fight with Jon Jones hasn't been finalized yet. He says he'd love to know the reason himself, but as of now, he has no idea why the matchup hasn't been locked in. The uncertainty remains a mystery to him, just like it is for the fans.
It's a great question, but it's a question that I don't have an answer to, unfortunately. I would love to know myself. I will be asking the questions myself as well, but right now I have no idea.
Moreover, Tom Aspinall isn't sure if the fight plays into his hands, especially considering Jon Jones's wealth of experience. He points out that ring rust typically affects fighters who haven't had as many title defenses as Jones, and he doesn't think that will be a factor for the champion.
I don't know if it plays into my hands because he's had so many fights. I think like ring rust is probably for people who've not had as many like title defenses as he's had. So I don't think he'll have that at all.
Building on that, Aspinall believes what sets him apart is his unique style. He's convinced he's nothing like any other heavyweight Jones has faced before. Aspinall's agility, speed, and movement make him a different kind of challenge, one that could be difficult for Jones to handle. Aspinall pointed towards his stats, highlighting that his statistics do the talking for him.
I just think that I'm way different to any other heavyweight out there at the minute, and I think I'm nothing like anybody that he's ever faced before, so I think that's to my advantage. And if you look at statistics, I'm statistically the most dangerous person in the UFC if you look at finish rate and finish time and all that kind of stuff.
Furthermore, Tom Aspinall weighed in on Jon Jones's approach to studying opponents, acknowledging that Jones is a meticulous tape watcher and one of the best at breaking down his rival's tendencies. However, Aspinall believes he holds a unique advantage as his fight footage is limited, making it difficult for Jones or anyone else to analyze his style in depth.
Jon is a massive studier of his opponents. Yeah, he's a massive tape studier. Like, that's one of the things that he does best. And the tapes are just not really out there of me. And the fact that I live over here as well, I think it's a massive... I think some people see it like as a detriment living in the UK away from it. For me personally, I think it's amazing because, like, when I go to Vegas and training, like, I see how intertwined everybody is with each other's business and stuff. And like, I'm out here and I'm just doing my own thing and nobody knows anything about me, and I love it.
On a lighter note, Aspinall jokes about his earlier comment regarding Jon Jones not having enough footage to analyze him. He admits that he was just making stuff up at the time. In reality, Aspinall has no idea if Jones has access to data on him. He states that only Jon himself can answer that question. Aspinall's playful response highlights the uncertainty of the situation, leaving it all up to the champion to reveal his game plan.
I mean, maybe. In all honesty, I'm just making stuff up. I don't know. I have no idea. You'll have to ask him. I don't know.
As the speculation continues, fans eagerly await an official announcement for the highly anticipated clash between Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall. With the heavyweight division in flux, the stage is set for a showdown that could define the future of the division. Until then, all eyes remain on the UFC and its next big move. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss out on the latest news. And we will see you next time with more combat sports updates.